hello people.
Hello.
We are here. It is Jace and Kinney. Hopefully Joe joins in a bit, but we are Dadcast.
With the man them.
How you doing, kids?
I am doing good. It's been a nice sunny day, and just been enjoying the sun with the kids inside the house. Bought a paddling pool.
I did
So
see
the
that,
kids
but
been
I saw the
enjoying that.
picture of the kids, but not you in the pool.
I was actually in the pool, not at that time, but I was actually in the pool. So it was good. It was nice, man. What about you?
So, Mum popped around a bit earlier with a few things. She gave us a box of, I think they're called like candy cables. Like, you know, like it's not licorice, but it's almost that kind of sweet with like the white thing going through the middle of it. But yeah, so she dropped off some of those. She also dropped off an empty glass bottle, just because my wife, as I've mentioned before, I believe, Mum dropped off like a massive bottle of alcohol for us, and what ended up happening is that whenever we try and pour drinks, like this bottle is really awkward to pour. So Mum dropped us around a smaller glass bottle so we can pour the big bottle into that smaller one. So at least if we are having a drink of an evening, it's less hazardous trying to pour those beverages, I think is the best way to describe it.
Your mum gives me jokes.
The thing is, I put a thing up the other day on my Facebook, and I was saying about how it said like when you ask for something and like, oh, I wish I had an orange, and then your mum turns up with a truck full of oranges. Like that's what my mum's like. If I say, oh, do you know, I wouldn't mind some of this, or could you get me one of these? Like she'll produce it, and sometimes there's a bit more extra with it. But yeah, if it wasn't so hot, we would have been out there chatting to her for a bit longer. But it was just too hot out there, man. And out the front of my house, when you get towards the afternoon and evening, that's where the sun is. So the garden becomes a bit more shaded and cooler, but yeah, at the front it was just burning up.
Yeah, it's like that at the back. Not gonna lie, I was burning up. I was trying to hold it because the kids were fine, and I was trying to hold it down, and I was just like, nope, I need to get, I need to get up.
They're like, Daddy, stay, and you're like, I can't. Daddy's not stronger than the sun.
But yeah, apart from that, my 2-year wedding anniversary yesterday. Which was it's amazing. 2 years have gone really quick. It's been amazing. I just wanted to grab this actually because this is always in our kitchen, front and center.
Okay.
So this is a gift that a wedding gift Jason got us for our wedding. Homemade, drawn to perfection of me and my wife as Thor.
Yes.
And we keep this in the kitchen, front and center. And in the back, it's got your reading that you read at our wedding.
Awesome.
So yeah, we keep that. Yeah, we keep that in the kitchen. Yeah.
So that was drawn by my sister's friend Simon. He does all sorts of like custom stuff. He's really good. He done for us one year. He asked us all what our favorite superheroes were, and then he made a Christmas card. And it had each of us. So like had like the Hulk with like Batgirl on his shoulders. Can't remember what the ones Nicola and Jess picked. But yeah, no, it was pretty cool the way that he had that. On my birthday one year, he made me a birthday card, and it said and it had Goku on the front doing a Kamehameha. And when you opened it up, it had like pages. And it was like Kamehameha, happy birthday, which is pretty cool. Yeah, he does some really good stuff, man. And yeah, I remember. Well, if you remember, I texted you and said, "What's your favorite?" And you were like, "Oh yeah, we both like 4." It's like, ah, cool. Could you make this then? And obviously made it bespoke to you guys, so it looks like you guys are both wielding Mjolnir.
Yeah.
But this was before we knew about Stormbreaker and all that. Otherwise, I could have got a cheeky Stormbreaker in there as well.
True.
Obviously, you got to get Cheryl holding the big axe because she's the one that runs the house, isn't it?
Exactly.
So, Skins, we said that this show is going to be more positive and not worrying about the doom and gloom that is lockdown at the moment. And we were also going to bring something for show and tell. So, I'm thinking of a number in my head between 1 and 10. Even or odd?
Odd.
Okay, it was even. So I vote for you to go first.
Okay, that's fine. That's cool. All right. So my show and tell. So last week, Kida was doing her schoolwork, and as part of her schoolwork, she had to do an inquiry project. So her first inquiry project in year 1 was about aerial designs of their classroom. So they had to design their classroom from an aerial image so they can kind of understand what maps and things look like. And this time they had to do one of their house. So we started the process of, doing one for her. so that she can then, color it in and put in her own designs of where things are in the house. And this is the first part.
Okay.
So that's the first. So that's the first part. Now,
It's like when you're buying a
Sherelle
house,
is,
isn't it?
yeah, yeah. So Sherelle is really into like floor plans and stuff. Like she's on Rightmove all the time. That's her thing. She just loves looking at houses and things like that. So she helped with this. Like she really good. She was like, oh, I can do it in 10 seconds. I was like, all right, cool. So now Kida's going to she's on half term this week, but the next part is to decorate this. So she's going to use her fabulous colors and color in her bedroom and what's in her bedroom, and then she's going to go into our bedroom and do ours, and then do the front room and so on and so on. So yeah, it was. I found it cool because when I first looked at their example of what they did previously, I asked her, how long did you lot take to do this? And she said, well, it was, it was a while, and everyone kind of participated in it. And, everyone kind of made sure that they could look at photos and put things in the right places and stuff. And I just thought it was really cool because it's not every so often that kids usually do kind of look at maps, or especially on like Google Maps and things like that.
Yeah.
So as preparation for, for this, she went onto Google Maps and she was looking at, our house from above. She's looking at school from above. I was like, oh yeah, look, that's where Uncle Jason lives. That's where, Pembroke lives, and so on and so on. So she can see, and then see the difference when it's, in a city area towards the country and the countryside. So I found that fascinating because she hadn't seen nothing like that before. So, but yeah, that's my show and tell.
It helps them see, doesn't it? The like their size compared to other thing and how they fit. Because in your house, you just kind of take it for granted. And some people be like, oh, my house is quite small. And some people forget about the space that they do have. But when you do a plan like that, actually, you realise I am this in this plan. But then when you show a map, like, this is our house in this row of streets, then you zoom out a little bit more. This is our, like, street in our area. Then it's like, oh, this is our area in Bristol. And I think it can show the kids kind of like the scale of themselves compared to like the working city that they're in.
Yeah, because they recognize their surroundings, they recognize the house, they know, oh yeah, this is the way home. If we were going to stay in my mom's or my dad's, and they know the way there, the way back, so they know when they're coming up to landmarks that they recognize. Say, oh yeah, we're nearly home now. But if you showed them a map from above, would they be able to recognize the house? So it was quite fascinating, I'm looking forward to seeing the more inquiry projects she kind of gets into.
Okay, so mine is it's a bit of a.
Is that a mop? Okay.
So it's not quite a mop. So we purchased this. It's a
sturdy sweep.
Yeah, it's like a carpet sweeper, but it's one of those ones that's got like the rollers on the bottom. So it's like your vacuum but without the power. The reason why we bought this, it's named Ben. By the way, we told Jada it's her new best friend, and so she named it Ben. And yeah, we bought it because our garden, we've got some artificial grass out there, and in our next door neighbour's garden, they've got this tree. Not sure what type of tree it is, but the bit that's in like the sunlight and stuff is nice and green and like quite soft, but the under parts, as it dries out or as parts of the tree die, it just drops these little, almost ninja spike-esque bits in the turf. And so whenever we go out there, we can't really go out there and just like lie down on it. We put out like picnic blankets, things like that. But with Nicola's work childminding, she can't just let a little one crawl around on the turf because for fear of them putting their hand down and catching it. So Ben is a bit of a larger project in that we used that to collect all of the spine bits. So we were in the garden the other day pulling up all the weeds, but we also got ourselves a lopper. Didn't know that's what it was called, but a lopper, and spoke to our neighbours. They don't like the tree, but they're renting, and their landlord said they can't take the tree out, so they trimmed a load on their side, and so we just went to town on it. Anything that hung over ours, we locked it off, so the tree looks ugly in their back garden now, but we're within our rights to cut off the bits that were overhanging. So we ended up this whole project. We built is it like, what's it called, like a playhouse, like a Wendy house thing, one of them big plastic ones that kids can go in that. Nicola built this like waterfall thing that the kids can play with as well. We've got like a nice colourful fence as well. So yeah, it's the garden is a lot more appealing than it was before. I think before it was sort of like it's good for our girls because they're old enough to kind of entertain themselves. But for like little ones, there wasn't really much out there to do. And with Nicola's work, it seems like a wasted resource that we had our garden and weren't really doing much of it. Our neighbour, who happens to be called Ben, he gave us, like, every now and again, he just gives us like random bits, and he gave us a couple of tomato plants. So Nicola's also bought some plant pots and some compost, and she hasn't decided what she's going to grow yet, but we're going to be growing some stuff in our garden soon as well. And yeah, what's really good is it tends to be that I have a day of the week that I'm supposed to do like a massive kind of take the vacuum around the house. But the reason why Ben is Jada's best friend is because Jada's a bit of a messy eater like myself. Oh, there he is. Joe's just joined us.
Yeah,
Hello, Joe.
What's going on? Sorry, boys. Sorry, everyone.
So just doing show and tell. So with I will show Joe it one more time. This is my sturdy sweep. This is Ben. Been using him to help. But what's been really good is that when Jada does make a bit of a mess, she can get this and roll over where she's left the crumbs. So it's just kind of like that thing as well, which gives her a bit of responsibility around it. The girls are getting older, so we need to start. Well, we don't need to, but it'd be nice to get them to be a bit more responsible for some things and managing bits themselves. But it's that thing where, you know, don't want to take their childhood away completely. It's not like there's more to life than doing chores, but it's good to give them those responsibilities at the same time. And yes, that's Ben.
You're going to give them money? You're going to give them money for their chores?
So this is what we were talking about as well. Jess had made a comment about because she's older, shouldn't she get more money? And Nicola said to her, if you did more stuff, then yes. But at the moment, when they were going up to Nicola's grandparents, they would get like pocket money. And then it was a bit like, actually, you don't need to get that much more than Jada because you're not doing anything. So then we were looking at, as time goes on, we need to come up with a few chores. Because they're tall enough to reach the sink now, they can make their own drinks, so they can start doing dishes. So I said to them about like having a thing where they do the dishes, one of them washes it, one of them dries, and then they switch it over every so many days, and then that way that could be a chore that they do for pocket money and things like that. Jada's pretty good in the kitchen. She knows how to make a lasagna. She has a bit of assistance from Nix, but Nicola tends to say that she leads on the lasagna construction, which is pretty good. But yeah, no, it's good to get them doing their own thing. Joe, what did you bring for show and tell? How's your week been?
Well, I'm not at my house, so I don't have my show and tell. My week has been okay. Today threw me because it was a bank holiday, so it threw me. I had Maisie till today. I had to drop her early rather than late. And then I dropped the girls, but I still have Mally. It was all, yeah. So apologies,
something that has
everybody.
happened for me and Joe this week is Harry Lloyd is a photographer, and he happened to one of my relatives, Aisha Thomas, so she had him come around hers and take some shots of her and the boys, and he's kind of doing a photography project around just families in lockdown, and she came around to mine and we were like talking for a bit, and he took a picture of like me, the girls, and a few bits like that, and then he was saying about how he hasn't had enough pictures of like single dads and things like that, and I was like, oh, do you know what, if you want a good photo of like, you know, you've got diversity in there and something people don't often see, I've got this friend, he'd also love to get some photos done. And then I was like, yeah. So then off we went to Joe's, and obviously got a few pictures of you with Mally, because he took quite a few good photos of the girls. It was really good.
He's taken loads more than that. So he put the ones of me and Mally up, but he's sending the rest over to me. He took, I reckon, obviously he was just like taking snap like in a row, but I reckon he took over 50 photos in total. Like we were chatting for almost an hour, and he was just taking photos of all of us, some of us, different mixtures and stuff. So yeah, I'll obviously post them up on Dadcast as well. Once they come through, he should be sending them over. But yeah, really nice guy and really nice project. So check him out. Do you have his out? I think I can find it, Jay.
It's Harry Lloyd Photos, I'm pretty sure it was.
That's it. Yeah. That's it on Instagram. So yeah, really nice pictures. And yeah. So thanks for the hookup. It was great, and I've got some pictures, which should be nice. So that is something I've been doing. We did that yesterday.
Have you been on any new walks? Found any new routes or anything like that, boys, on the last week?
I haven't, but Malachi did another social distancing walk with my mum, which has been really nice for her. It's been really good for her, kind of just mental well-being and stuff, being able to actually see the grandkids. So she took 3 of the grandkids out, and they're from 2 different houses, so they kept separate, and they kept separate from her, but they're all old enough to do that. And then they all went on a big walk. So that was really nice for her. She's done it a few times with Mally now, but I'm still being quite lazy, I'm afraid. But Kinney, I seen you've been doing walking, isn't it?
Yeah. We went to I think it's Magpie Common. I think. So it's round by where you work, Jace.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so we went down there. That was a nice little walk. It's like a connecting to kind of an off-road connection where you can kind of ride down as well and ride through. And it's just like it's weird. If you don't go down there, you wouldn't know that it's there. And it's kind of got like a nature reserve in there as well. And it was really hot, so it was just really nice to kind of go for a walk with kids. Zaire lazy, so he needs to get up and walk. You know what I mean? So, but he liked it when we were out there. They were just running up and down, being able to see outdoors, kind of seeing squirrels and everything, and loads of different birds, and hearing loads of different sounds and noises. And Kida's quite, she's kind of, she's quite interested in that kind of stuff. She is outdoorsy, so it was nice for her to kind of see all of that stuff. So yeah.
The thing that's been hard, we were going to go for a walk today, but it was just too hot to. It's that thing where going out for a walk is all well and good, but the kids have really struggled, just us getting on the way back anyway. And it was that thing, we were going to go for a walk today, and it was just so hot that we decided no, because if we were to walk, and then when you get so far, you got to get back. So if the kids are struggling and we're out in the sun, it's just like, yeah. So just left it today. The thing that's been, it's been trying to find new routes for the kids to go that are still nice routes, because I'm not far from town, and it's so urban. And it's like just walking in between like office blocks and stuff isn't that nice of a setting. So it's trying to figure out kind of places to walk, and we'll walk along the feeder. But yeah, it's that thing as well where the nicer places, if you will, or newer places, you have to go further afield. But the further we go, we then have to get the kids back, and it's just a bit of a drag when you do a really nice walk out, but then the walk back and it's just arguing and like, come on, hurry up, keep up. So yeah, that kind of puts a bit of a damper on it.
Are we allowed to drive somewhere to walk yet, or are we still just walking from home?
I don't have a car at the minute.
Well,
so
that's walking from home then.
Yeah, that's why. I tell you what, I was
Is that
looking
another story for another time?
Well, it's just a case of I've loaned my car out to somebody that needed it more than I do. I've done my week of working on site. I'm working from home, and this person needs to get somewhere. My car's a diesel and needs to be driven longer distances. So I was like, actually, we sorted it all out, and it's to a family member, not just renting it out to somebody random. Giving it to somebody, and they've just said to me, "Yeah, do you mind putting me on insurance?" I said, "Yeah, not a problem." So now there's me and 2 named drivers on my insurance. But yeah, nothing that exciting. I did look at those. Have you guys seen the electric scooters that are taking over at the minute? Everybody's buying these electric scooters from Halfords and places like that.
They're not cheap though, are they?
They are not. But Halfords do a price match, and I'm not gonna lie. Today I was looking at it. I was tempted to get one. Was talking about, like, when I was thinking about it was they've got like a 30-mile range or something like that. So with regards to getting to and from work, actually that is a lot cheaper than driving my diesel up and down. When it comes to going to town, I think it's in 2021 I won't be able to take my diesel through the centre of Bristol anymore because of those restrictions, despite it being £0 tax a year. That's why I bought it. But there's those elements to it as well. So I was looking at kind of that aspect. But the problem that there is that at the moment, technically, it's not legal to have on roads and pathways. You're interested to have them on private land.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and so in the back room, in the corner, next to all of the lighting rigs and all of that, is a box that has a Segway in it. Because I had a Segway, if you guys remember, quite a while back, I bought a Segway, and I had that for I think a year until the government decided those were banned. So I was like, I just need to learn. Like, that there is a lesson.
Not spending another couple £100 to just have it banned again, yeah.
So, yeah, but there is talks of them legalising it, but for private hire, or for scooter companies to do rentals around the UK, which I thought is a bit cheeky.
Well, you would think if it was legal to ride, if it was hired, it would also be legal to ride if you owned it. Like, it's a traffic law more than anything else, isn't it? Yeah. But boy.
So yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that. But I think it's with the way that they're talking about, because of the reduction in people using public transport and people trying to be more green, people obviously trying to get around more now. Without being enclosed in spaces, I think these scooters would be a really good thing. And it'd be good to see where the law goes with it, because the second it does say yes, you can just buy them for personal use and there's no qualms, then I will get it. Because the other side to it is that I would get 3 essentially. So it would be 1 for me and then 2 kids ones for the kids. Because then if I'm not using it for me doing whatever, there's times where Nicola goes up to, say, Kingswood with her to go see her gran and stuff. actually, her and the kids could use the scooters to go up there. If
cool,
all four of us are going somewhere, then, yeah, take the car. When we're going further afield, yes, take the car. But Nicola will not ride something, rightly so, will not ride something if it is not legally allowed.
I get that. Boys, I got to ask you, did you lot see the clash that happened on last night? Was it last night?
No, well,
you're gassing about it.
So I did not see the verses. I saw highlights of it, and there's a few people that there were certain lyrics in there that were from a time where they were warring. But a bit of context, Joe. Yeah. What was the clash then? What was the clash? Let people know.
The clash was Bounty Killer versus Beanie Man on the Versus Instagram, which is set up by Swiss Beats and Timbaland. And it was basically a live back-to-back where they do 20 tracks each going back-to-back. And it's, to see who's the winner. But it was the wickedest show, man. It was like being in a dance. It was like being a proper sound clash. And so their beef is crazy for the culture because their beef goes back to like 1993. So they had a beef from 1993 all the way through, and for a long time, you never would have seen them on stage together in any way. But they're both pioneers of the dancehall movement, and they're both legends. So to have them on stage, bantering, and you're right, there was some warring lyrics from before, but they were bantering about it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it was just a wicked night. It was a really good night. The police tried to lock it off, didn't happen. Do you know what I mean? But I was gassed. My kids were like, "You're being so loud," and it was like 2 a.m. I'm singing at the top of my voice along. It was a good night for dancehall culture, man. It was, and nearly 500,000 people was on the live, which is incredible. So,
and it's that thing, isn't it? Where as dads, you're getting to kind of relive a bit of your younger days. I won't say your youth because we're not old, but it's more those younger days, and your kids getting to see you actually yes, this is the music that I used to enjoy, still enjoy, and there's loads of people. Look, there's 500,000 people also enjoying this. Yeah. So you lot can say what you want about me and my music, but look at the numbers.
Do you know what? And it's funny because it wasn't until I told them that Rihanna had logged in and DJ Khaled had logged in and all these people who they do know, they were like, "What? Those people? What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I like the same music as them people. Yeah."
Getting a few points.
It was an amazing night for the culture, man. It was an amazing night for dancehall. So anybody who's into that, it's 2 hours long. It's well worth the watch, man. A lot of laughs, a lot of old school reminiscing, and it was good.
And I think it's been good with some of the kind of versus stuff that's been going out and artists putting things out. One of the things that I saw somebody share videos of was that they went to a Zoom rave, and so
I heard about it.
And it's just it's a Zoom conference with multiple screens of people who are just playing music and raving. They're listening to a station that all raving at the same time. And it's just...
A friend of mine did a Zoom party last week for her 35th. I didn't go to the Zoom party, but everybody got dressed up and music was playing, and
it's just it's cool that these things are happening. Do you I just love the kind of nice stuff that is going on as well, and people not being held back. I wanted to share a good news story. I told Kenny about it. I happened to just be looking to see if there's anything going on, and I seen a story that I thought was just quite mad. In that, so the headline is China abductions. Parents find son snatched in hotel 32 years ago. So a Chinese couple whose son was abducted in a hotel in 1988 have been reunited with him after 32 years.
And it wasn't go on.
Kids, were you going to say something?
Say, wasn't it something to do with facial recognition or something?
Yeah. So it's that thing where they were reunited at a police news conference on Monday, and the son, now age 34, said he planned to spend time with his parents. So it's one of those things where, on 17th October 1988, his father was bringing him home from nursery. The boy asked for a drink of water, so they stopped in the entrance of a hotel. As the father called down some hot water, he looked away briefly, and then he was taken. And so, they thought they found it at one stage, but they hadn't. Over the years, there was numerous Chinese television appeals, and just trying. And then in April, state media said that police received a tip about a man who had adopted a baby years earlier, and just from there, they managed to find him. So
what happened to him?
So I'm just trying to. It's just one of those things where it just says that he was taken, not kind of sure what's going on. He's been adopted, and then years later he's been found. He's been.
So the guy the abductors sold him off to adoption or something. It was.
It doesn't say, but it's one of those things where So the investigation into the disappearance is still ongoing, and the authorities have not released information about the couple who raised him. But it's just nuts.
Because they might have been oblivious, isn't it?
Yeah.
They might have not known.
It's
crazy.
It is nuts that, you know, because you'd think
That's scary, man.
you would have given up hope after a couple of years. Well, I feel that within myself, I would give up hope and be like, well,
You would think they would have been killed, probably.
Yeah.
Is what you would assume. You know what I mean? Like,
so for all that time to
Scary,
have passed,
man.
it's just
But do you know
amazing.
what? It's amazing. Imagine that. Yeah, it's such an amazing thing. Like, obviously, it's a horrible situation, but it's amazing that they've been reunited now. And yeah, like, that's incredible, man.
Just want to give a quick time check. How long we got left?
10 minutes is what we've
10
got
minutes,
left
okay.
on this show. Yeah. Why, Kenny? What have you got for us?
All right. So what have I got? So just want to let all the listeners, the viewers know that we are now on podcast. So if you want to listen to us on the go whilst you're doing shopping or washing up or hoovering, whatever you're doing, yeah, you can listen to us on all podcasting platforms. So iTunes, you can get us on Spotify, you can also get us on Podbean. So on Podbean, it's dadcastwtmd.podbean.com. Okay, but other than that, you can get us on most platforms, podcasting platforms. So like I said, iTunes, Spotify, yeah, whatever you use, Stitcher, you can get us on.
Spotify,
Okay?
Kenny. I'm not
So
going
make
to lie,
sure
I
you,
got gassed when I seen this on Spotify. Like, I was like, yeah.
we try and hookups. But yeah, all of our YouTube shows are on there. All of our Lockdown Chronicles, which we're calling them, they're also on there as well. Dadcast in Review with Joe and Maisie is also on there. So make sure you check it out. They're all timeless. There's not episode 1 to be they're timeless. So go have a look, and yeah, just make sure you join us every week while we try and bring you stuff on here on Facebook, and we continue to do our shows.
Yeah, and it's that thing where at the moment we're having to kind of cling and put all of our energy into our broadcasting stuff, because I don't know about you guys, I know you're the same, but I'm itching to be able to work with people again. It's trying to figure out how we're going to be able to do the crafting once we're allowed to kind of have people in the same space. It's how we're going to manage that. We've got Father's Day coming up. It would be nice for us to do something for Father's Day. So I'm trying to think of what we can do to kind of, have a bit of a positive impact on people around Father's Day. And because we've had events and we thought we were going to have an event coming up, and then that didn't happen. The Bristol Diversity Awards, I was looking forward to going back to that. That's kind of been put on hold. Dadcraft, it's a shame that we were seeing so many of these dads at least once a month, and then we've not been able to provide that same service. Although some people may consume the media and they may be happy seeing our faces having these conversations or hearing our voices on the radio having these conversations, but like I miss them, which is
Definitely.
So thank you to everybody that kind of has been getting involved in our stuff before. If you do have us on all the socials at Dadcast WTMD or Dadcast with the Man Them, we will have news out as soon as we do have it about how we'll go forward about getting in touch with people. Another shout for anybody who is feeling lonely, feeling rubbish, and just want someone to talk to, sound off to, or whatever. Please don't hesitate to get in contact with us. That's not just to dads either. dadcastwtmd@gmail.com. Even if we just find something to signpost you to help you with whatever the issue is, I'm more than happy to do that. We're not experts, we're not counsellors or therapists at all, but we're three guys that have experienced different ways of life, and if we could just be a sounding board, I'm more than happy to do so.
I was going to say, definitely, I second that, and that kind of made me think of another really good news story that I thought was definitely worth sharing. So I don't know if you boys heard, but Wretch32, who, for anybody who doesn't know, is a really talented UK artist, has put up on his Insta this weekend for people to DM him, and over the next few weeks he's going to call random people. It's not about anything, it's just checking in. He knows people are struggling, so he's just put a thing out where DM your number to him and you might get a call from him, which I think is a really nice thing. And it's just, he said, it's not about anybody recording anything, it's not about hookups, it's literally just a check-in. Do you know what I mean? And I thought, fair play, that's a nice thing for somebody on that platform to be able to kind of reach out to people who may be struggling a bit. So there's platforms out there, but we're definitely one of them. We're willing to listen and chat and definitely reach out. It's important. we reach out to each other all the time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most definitely.
Important to do.
For sure.
So, boys, I'm going to set you another challenge.
I'll do it this week. I promise.
Are you ready for this week? So this week, I think, is where you will come into your own, Brosif, in that I want you guys to draw a picture of your family. I cannot draw.
Nor can I.
But I think that, something to do with next week. Get our creative brains going. And so next week, for those that are able to see this broadcast, they will be able to see the pictures. But the best bit is going to be describing these pictures for those that are listening to the broadcast. So that will be the challenge, is to get that kind of illustration in and get those key features of your family members and maybe stuff that's been going on in the household or things like that. Yeah, I think that'd be a good one.
Okay. I like this. I got an idea already. Okay.
Have you boys got anything planned over the next week at all? Anybody to see or catch up with, or make sure you ring?
I gotta go and see my parents. I haven't seen them for a bit, so I gotta go and see my parents. That'll be cool. And yeah, that's it really. I'm still furloughed, so just trying to spend quality time with the kids really. But other than that, that's it.
I'll be doing the same. I'll be visiting my mum. I'm still working, so tomorrow's back to work, but I did take Friday off, so it's a 3-day work week this week, which is quite nice. Going to be having the kids again this week. So yeah, nothing super major. What about yourself, Jace? Got anything to do?
So this week I'm still working. I'm gonna have next week off. So yeah, working through this week. So it's having to pick up some of the calls that the team is bigger normally, and where some people are off, well, the majority of people are off, and some of us are still working this week. The calls go up. So whereas before I was ringing like a certain set of vulnerable kids, now I'm having to ring all the looked after kids on my cohort as well, whereas somebody else was doing that before. So yeah, doing a few more of those calls. It's really nice because the calls, everybody's really happy to hear from you. I think sometimes when you work in education and you make calls, some parents get fed up of hearing from you because, it might be that they have a child with difficulties and they're fed up of getting calls about the negatives. It's nice to surprise them with a nice call. But what's been really nice around the things that have been going on is that people are really happy to hear from you. And it's like, oh yeah, I'll just go and get so-and-so. It's like, oh, what have you been up to? Been playing this game, that game. I had a 15-minute conversation about green vegetables to one of my year 7s the other day. And so we continued that conversation briefly today to make sure he'd been eating his green vegetables. But yeah, it's just nice little bits like that, really, just trying to maintain those relationships when it's at a distance, because eventually we're going to be back together, so it'd be nice to still maintain it rather than it be like this weird gap and then we're all together and it's all a bit fragmented. So
we've got I'm going to be doing my first social distancing one-to-ones this week as well, so that'll be quite nice. So because I'm counted as a key worker, we'll be doing maybe sitting in a park with a young person, but maintaining that distance, but it's still face-to-face in somewhat. And that's definitely something I think, like you were saying, we've all missed that because that's what we do. So, and we're only doing it with the most vulnerable or the most, at-risk young people, but I think it's a really nice thing to be able to offer. So I'm definitely looking forward this week to being able to do that,
Okay, that's good.
Right.
Positive.
Let's come to the end of the show.
Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in, staying locked in. You can get us on all sorts of platforms. Like we just said, we're on the podcasts, we're on Facebook, we are on loads of social media, and we are on BCFM too. So wherever you're consuming our media, thank you. We appreciate it. We hope that everybody is well and staying safe. And we will see you very, very soon. There's nothing else to say, but fatherhood
doesn't come
with the manual. I was waiting for you to start, man. I was pausing.
Right, everybody. See you all soon.